All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebony again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva, City Health Style, and today we have Miss Nicole with us. How are you, Nicole?
Hey, I'm good. It's chilly here in Jersey. We still have snow out here.
I hear the wind and see how you're dressed, and I am cold even here in Florida today. Usually I would have on a tank top, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to put on the sweater today. Thank you so much for taking time out of the day to speak with us, and you guys will stick around to the end. She will be able to share jewels all throughout, and for you sticking around and showing appreciation, I'm going to offer you a complimentary gift for choosing to stick around to the end. So stick around and let's see what Miss Nicole wants to share with us today. So Nicole, just so we get to know you a little bit better, can you share one motivational quote that really inspires and encourages you?
Motivational quote. Okay, so anybody that follows me on Instagram at Syncopated, if you don't yet, knows that I'm very much in touch with like my faith journey. And there's a verse in 1 John that says like everything that's good and perfect is from above and doesn't shift like changing shadows. So I think for me, that's really something that sticks out and something that I remind myself of every day. Because I feel like in this world, you know, people come and go, or, you know, we have different experiences that we're not sure why they don't work out. And I think at the end of the day, you know, it sounds cliche, but everything happens for a reason. And we are better people because of it. And if we hadn't gone through what we've gone through, then we wouldn't be where we're at today. So I think it's just a gentle reminder of, you know, keeping positivity in your life and just moving forward and being able to differentiate the things that serve you and the things that no longer serve you. If you've grown as a person, maybe, you know, maybe you leave a friend group, or maybe you do change interest and get a new job, you know? So that's life. Just keep moving forward.
Yes, and I think that the sooner that we can realize that everything happens for a reason, and that is life. And most of the things that happen, I truly believe that we're able to get through it, and we have the courage and the strength to get through it, even though it doesn't always feel like it. But I think that, you know, when we look back at some of the challenges that we've gone through and some of the things that didn't occur in our life that maybe we wanted to occur, we ended up in a better situation anyway, you know? So I think that just understanding that things will always work out the way that they're supposed to, and just not to lose hope in yourself, and just to trust that things are how it's supposed to be in your world.
Yeah, totally.
Can you talk a little bit about a time where you found that perception of life challenging and you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel and had to overcome some obstacles and circumstances, as we all do? We're never going to escape that. And I actually believe life would be boring if we didn't have any challenges. Can you talk a little bit about a time where you didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but at the end of the day, you were able to bring your goal or your dream to fruition?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So I actually went to post-grad school for musical theater in New York City. So I am based out of New Jersey, the New York tri-state area. And it's really tough because I've been singing all my life, and dancing, singing, acting is a passion that I've really had for a long time. And for me, it's really fun to do. But I feel like when something becomes your business, a lot of times, especially in that, you know, area or expertise, it's really competitive. And I mean, New York, it's like, you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right? So there's a lot of people that come from all over with the same dream. And I think once you're in classes or once you're going to these auditions and there's, you know, the lines start at 4 a.m. and you're there like signing lists and, you know, hoping they don't typecast you and, you know, hoping you get in the door pretty much, because for the most part, for the time that you're waiting, you're just outside, just either praying or making friends with the people around. But at the end of the day, you know, I think it's important to like keep going, and even if if the outlook is really grim, you know? And I think it's important to note, like people always say, like follow your dreams and stuff, but I feel like your dreams can change. I feel like something can happen and then it ends up maybe you're meant to do something else. Or I know people who started off like backstage who ended up being actors and who had no idea they had that in them kind of thing until they were exposed to that environment. And then they said, hey, I want to try that. So, you know, I think it's also being open to whatever, you know, God might put in your way, even if it's not exactly what you thought it would be at first. But definitely, if you're in a situation when things are rough and it's very challenging, push through until you feel like, you know, you've succeeded, or maybe you need to make that decision and let go and try something new, you know?
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that your dream can also shift because we're always growing. And some of the things that we liked when we were younger is not necessarily going to be things that stick with us later, especially as we open ourselves to more realities in this world. So you said it exactly right. I mean, there's some people that worked backstage and they never knew they were going to be an actor or actress until they actually experienced it and tried it. So I think that one part of life that I really hold dear is to always be open to trying new things. You just don't know what you're going to enjoy and how good you're going to be at it, you know? So I love that you mentioned that. Can you talk a little bit about people that feel like they don't necessarily have a lot of support for their dream? Because sometimes that's an issue where they feel like, I would love to do X, Y, Z, but I don't really feel like I have the support to be able to get it off the ground to move from point A to point B or Z.
Right. Well, I feel like there's so many resources out there, especially in the U.S. I mean, we're so fortunate to live here. You know, there's a lot of countries where, you know, a lot of people and, you know, women in general don't have the resources or the people that they can turn to, which aren't going to judge them and just willingly want to help. So I would say, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. I feel like it's really important to have a support system, but sometimes you have to build that. You know, if you're, I'd encourage you to like join a group, whether that's a church or some kind of club. I used to volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club with the STEM program there for kids. And I thought that was a really great kind of organization where the kids were able to be really open about us or about the material, and I got to know them in a way I didn't think I would. So, I mean, there's a lot of like, you know, women's centers, and the YWCA or the YMCA is really great too. Just kind of different organizations that are open for people, that host different events, that, you know, may be able to refer you to a counselor or somebody like that as well, if you want something a little bit more intimate. But I know a lot of people flourish in group environments. I know I work in marketing, so I love like interacting with people in a group basis, you know, but
right.
Sometimes it is important to have that, you know, one-on-one time as well. So yeah, I mean, definitely Google search, you know, ask your friends if there's any places they could recommend, or, you know, I would go to any of those places I mentioned. They're always welcoming people, and they're pretty, I mean, especially big companies like the YMCA, YWCA, they're pretty much in every state and multiple ones in the state in different counties and different areas. So,
Yeah, I think that there's probably a group for just about any interest area nowadays, whether it's in your local community or it's online. So if you have access to online, and for most people that are listening to this interview, they probably have access to online. So I think that utilizing the online space and seeking out people with similar interests, you'll be able to find people that will help support you, because sometimes your immediate family or friends, it's not that they don't want to support you, they just don't know how to support you in that particular endeavor, because it's not something that they So talk a little bit about the relationship between self-care and you realizing your dreams, because even when you have the support, sometimes you may feel like, I don't really have the energy to put forth to really make this happen. I'm always tired. I'm working a 40-hour-a-week job. I can't find time for myself. And a fast-paced society, it can be difficult to self-reflect and become self-aware and really find the stuff that lights you up. Not the stuff that you're good at, but the stuff that really lights you up and brings you fulfillment. So can you talk about the relationship between self-care and realizing your dreams, and maybe some of your challenges with self-care, or some of the things that you do to be able to provide yourself with a feeling of wellness?
Yeah, so I feel like that's something that's especially tricky to kind of balance. I feel like, like you said, a lot of people, like including me, we live in I don't want to say a society, but a time period where people are very much in the freelance and the independent contractor kind of world, like me. And because of that, we're kind of always on the run, always looking for work and willing to kind of travel wherever and prepare whatever's needed for those different opportunities, some of which are last minute. So it's really hard to find that like me time during those times. And I think that what it comes down to is being able to say no. And I know that especially me, I have a tendency to be a people pleaser, longer, and I want to be able to have my apartment spick and span and be able to work all the jobs that are humanly possible so I can make X amount of money,
Nicole, your reception is going out a little bit. Nicole, your reception is going out. I can't hear anything you're saying.
At the end of the day, I'm only human, so I can't do everything. So weird. I haven't done anything, but
okay,
hey, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I got disconnected. Sorry about that.
Repeat some of the last paragraph that you said.
Oh man, what was I saying? I guess what I was saying was that at the end of the day, yeah. Oh man, I don't know why. But anyways, so I was just saying how at the end of the day, we have to be able to say no because we're only human. And as much as we'd like to hang out with all our friends or have our apartment spick and span or be able to take every single job as an independent contractor or otherwise that we may want, it comes down to making sure you're making decisions that are healthy for you. And I know I struggle a lot of times, especially in the morning, if I have a lot of things to do, just being able to grab a smoothie or something, or waking up and not running directly to my email, but instead having like a really thoughtful moment of either journaling or reading or saying a prayer or lighting candles, just taking a moment to kind of start your day in a positive way, as opposed to just jumping into making all the work calls and answering everything that needs to be answered, because to-do lists are good, but we want to be able to have time where we can just be. I think that helps us be more productive, because then we're taking care of ourselves and we're energizing, we're making sure we eat when we need to eat. So yeah, it's okay to stop for a second and to take a breath, and to make sure that you're your first priority.
Yeah, and I think that's so key to remember, that not everything needs to be done like yesterday, and life goes on. So what happens if you get into the mode of always trying to do everything yesterday, and then you fall sick or die? There will always be somebody else that's going to be able to step in and take over. So just think about that. I mean, you have to think about your own care and vitality. And also, you can't very well be the best person for all your different roles that you have in life if you're ragged and run down. So I think we
you need to have the energy.
We all benefit.
Yeah, you definitely need that time.
Yeah,
for sure. Take a spa day. Just day off. They need a Mental Health Day, you know, that is a thing. So
Yes. Yes, I was gonna say that we all can utilize self-care in our own way too. It doesn't have to be the same way that someone else does it. Whatever you feel like you get the most fulfillment in is exactly what you should be doing. Thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate you. And for those of you that don't already follow Nicole on Instagram, I would encourage you to do so. She puts out so many positive messages on a daily basis. And I believe that when you surround yourself with these type of people, you're not going to very well stay down in the dumps for very long, because they're always going to be putting out positive energy. And I think the more people you surround yourself with that have that positive energy, the more you're going to feel that. Now, if you hang around people that suck the life out of you and are negative and toxic all the time, well, then don't be surprised if you also become that person. And we all know that saying that misery loves company, right? So hang out with people that are going to impact your life on a positive level. Thank you so much, Nicole. Do you have anything else that you want to share?
Well, I mean, I was just inspired by what you said just now. I mean, I feel like when we surround ourselves with people who tend to complain a lot or just have negative energy, the entire room just, you know, goes down in energy. And it almost feels like you need to contribute to that. You know, you feel like you want to be a part of the team. And so you feel like you need to contribute to that energy or that group or whatever it is. But I just encourage you to, you know, take it back and maybe, you know, find another space where you can hang out. If it's in a work environment, I know in a work environment it happens a lot. At least that's been my experience. So, you know, just find something else to do, more productive, you know, go, you know, talk to somebody else that maybe you can have a conversation about something completely different with. So just be wary of that.
Yeah, that is so true. And I think that, you know, we already have enough stressors in life, and you're always going to have those down moments. Everybody does. But you will stay in that down moment longer when you're around negative people. That's going to contribute to you feeling down. I can promise you that. I mean, just think about it. Think about like the most joyful and happy people that you're around, and think about the most depressed and down people that you're around. Who do you feel the best around? Obviously, you're going to feel the best around the positive people, right? So I would say that, yeah, spend time and feel the emotions of what you're going through, but don't stay there forever. It's only going to keep you back from putting your own light out into this world that we all need, right? I appreciate you so much, Nicole. And for those of you that are listening, if you would love to share your experiences through life or your story, I encourage you to reach out to me. All of my contact info is in the description box. All of Nicole's contact info is also in the description box, so that if you want to connect with her, or you see something in her that you would want to help contribute to your project or your goals, we are both welcome to collaborations. And I believe that we all need to share our stories. I think that too many times we may think that we're going through a lot of the issues that we're going through alone. But then when you start to connect with people, you realize that you're not going through it alone. And I don't know how many times I've talked to someone and just spending 5 or 10 minutes just listening to what they wanted to talk about, they felt better. So just spending some time and being around the people that you're closest to. You don't need to be on a stage. You don't need to reach 5 million people. Just spend time talking to the people that are closest to you in your own immediate household. I appreciate you, Nicole. And for those of you that chose to stick around to the end, don't forget that if you have challenges in the area of discovering your life purpose and enhancing your core life purpose, or finding out your true personality type so that you can make better, more aligned decisions in your life, I encourage you to join my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group. It's not just nutrition from the food consumption standpoint. We're talking about nutrition for your mind, body, and soul. So if you're interested in receiving more support in that area and really focusing in on what your gifts are and how you can utilize them in this world, I love, love, love helping ladies discover what that is. So I encourage you to join me and learn more about me on a more intimate level. You guys have an awesome rest of the day, and I will talk to you in our next episode. Be sure to share this out with friends and family that you believe could benefit. Thank you, Nicole. I will talk to you
soon. Talk to you soon. Bye. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.